everyone. My name is Jamie Bermejo, and I am an advisor with the Talent Search Program.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gerardo Chagoya, and I'm an advisor for the SCSU Talent Search Program.
Today, we're going to be going over how to complete your community college application at the community college of your choice. So moving forward, these are things to keep in mind before continuing.
Depending on the school you're applying to, as you apply to their application, the respective logo will be on the top left corner. So for instance, if you're interested in applying to City College, make sure that their logo's on the top because that will indicate that you're completing their application for that particular school. So every school should have this, whether it's Southwestern College, Cuyamaca, or Grossmont, they all have them.
So in addition, as Gerardo was mentioning, before you proceed to completing your application, make sure you go to your school's respective website in order to be directed to the correct application. So for example, we are going to test going to Grossmont's main website. Once you're at Grossmont's college's website, you're going to click on Apply Now. And then there you'll be redirected to the actual application. So that way you know you're going to be applying directly to Grossmont College. So before continuing, make sure that you've already created an account. If you haven't, then you will need to do this step first. If you've already created an account with the OpenCCC application, then you can just click on sign in, input your credentials, and then you'll be redirected to the Grossmont application.
So once that is completed, the next step would be actually completing the application. And where we begin is with this welcome page. So some of the questions you will be asked are what term you're applying to. Since fall is the first semester of the new academic year, you would be selecting either fall 2020 or whatever term you're selecting. For educational goal, you're going to be selecting a goal that you have for yourself, whether it's obtaining an associate's degree, maybe completing a vocational program, or transferring to a university. Those are options you could select under educational goal. Under intended major or program of study, you will be selecting what you're trying to pursue and what you would like to study. For example, it could be psychology, or it could be any other major. So just keep this in mind as you go over this page.
Continuing with your account information, you will be asked to input your current mailing address. So if you've already completed your OpenCCC account, then you will just check mark the first box that's there saying my mailing address is the same as the permanent address in the OpenCCC account above. If not, you will need to input your address once again if it has changed, or if you have an address outside of the USA.
Education and information. So for this slide, for this part of the application, you will be indicating what your college enrollment status will be. So for instance, here, most of you will be leaving high school and entering college directly as first-time students. So make sure you make that selection here. Below, you will be indicating your high school education as of July 1st, 2020. So as of that date, will you have a diploma by then? If so, you're going to make that selection, and you will be indicating the month, the day, and the year of when you got your diploma. And then lastly, where it says, did you receive your diploma, GED, or certificate in California, you will be saying yes. And then the last question is saying, have you attended high school in California for 3 or more years? There you would answer that question.
Moving forward with the education information, you will need to input your last high school attended. So if you are a senior in high school, you will select I attended high school, and then further down, you will be selecting the country and the state that your school is located in. And then furthermore, you're going to enter the name or city of your high school or homeschool organization. Then you're going to make the selection from the list.
High school transcript information. So here in this section, you're going to be asked what your GPA was in high school, unweighted. So it's very important for you to indicate that based on your transcript. And I also mentioned that this is very important because based on your classes that you will also be entering, the school, the college will be determining what your placements will be once you go to the community college. And it's very important for you to mention your appropriate level of classes that you took in high school. So that way the community college could have that information and place you in the appropriate level classes. Because if you don't indicate the correct class that you took in high school, that could mean that you could be taking a additional class in college, and that could delay your whole process. It could add more classes that you shouldn't be having to take. So please just make sure you enter the correct classes that you took in high school. That way you're not placed in a class that's too easy or too hard.
Moving forward, the next section is inputting your citizenship or military information. So in this section, you will need to select the status of your citizenship. As you can see on our slide, those are the various options that you have. And depending on which you identify with, you will select either option. Keep in mind, if you are an undocumented student, then you will select other, and then you will have a pop-up that selects no documents so that you can verify that you are an undocumented student and so that the community college knows as well. And then furthermore, there is a US and military or dependent of the military section. If you do identify with this, then you will just select if you're active, if your family member is active or no longer active. And if you don't identify with this at all, then you'll just put not applicable to me.
Residency information. So here for this part of the application, you will be asked if you lived in California continuously since a given date. By putting this information on your application, the college determines that you are a resident, and that is very important to mention because based on residency in California, it could affect your financial aid and also your tuition. An example is the following. Tuition for California students is 46 per unit. But if you're not a resident of California, you would be paying $265 per unit, which is a more significant amount. That being said, it's very important for you to answer this question correctly. So keep that in mind. And then below, answer the questions below that apply to you.
Moving forward with residency information, there is a category for special residency. So for example, if at any time in the last 24 months you were determined to be homeless by any of the following agencies, you will select either yes or no. Keep in mind that it does have to be specific to the bullet points. And then furthermore, students who do select yes for this section will be eligible for specific services and resources, and Gerardo will be able to give more information about that right now.
So again, as my colleague just mentioned, if this applies to you, make sure that you acknowledge that because some significant resources can be available to you, and they include food services, educational services, career services, and opportunities with programs at the community college. So there's various things in place that could help you and that could assist you during your college process.
Moving forward, you will be asked about your needs and interests. So this is definitely an important category to make sure that you report accurately, such as your main language. Are you comfortable reading and writing in English? If not, they'll be asking you to specify what languages you are most comfortable in. Definitely check that you are interested in financial assistance because that is a crucial part of attending college. We all want to make sure we can afford it and then also be eligible for other financial aid services if possible. Athletic interest, if you're really interested in being a part of a team within your college, then you can select yes and go for it. Otherwise, you can just say no. Furthermore, programs and services are something that we really stress that you also take into consideration because these are services and resources that will definitely help you along the way in college. The college will be sending you information in an email, and then you can move forward with receiving those specific services, or you can just learn and maybe utilize them later.
So demographic information. So make sure that you just read everything carefully and that you fill out the information that pertains to you, and make sure that you just keep in mind that all this information will be confidential and it's only used for statistical purposes.
Moving forward, you will be asked supplemental questions. And once again, these questions are important because they do pertain to your eligibility for financial aid or receiving additional support at your community college. So there are 3 questions. What is your marital status? Select your branch of service if it is applicable to you. And then furthermore, select the paid hours that you will be expected to work while attending college. So if you're not working yet, but you think you might work in the future, you can still put in that estimate. And if you're assured that you won't be working while in college, then you can just put none. Finally, moving forward, this is the submission of the application.
So for this part, you're just going to be reading everything. You're going to be taking a picture at the end. And basically what this page highlights is that you're acknowledging that such and such person has read the terms, is agreeing to be a student at the community college. And the last things you need to do are request for consent. So you need to say that you will be consenting. And then lastly, you need to sign with your signature in the other areas under submit your application. And this would be the last page that would finalize everything. And by saying yes, it allows you to share the information to the college, and that way they can begin working with you with their various offices, whether it's financial aid or admissions. So just make sure that you read everything and you complete it.
Lastly, after you submit your application, these are a few things to keep in mind. So be on the lookout for emails from the community college that you apply to. Right after you select submit application, you should be receiving an email from the community college with the steps that you need to do in order to continue your enrollment. So just because you submitted this application, it doesn't mean that you're completely done. You still have to fulfill some requirements from your community college in order to be officially enrolled there and take classes there. Furthermore, make sure that the community college you applied to is listed on your FAFSA. This way, the community college knows if you're eligible for any financial aid, and you'll be assured money to pay for tuition or books or whatever else they may provide you with. And then lastly, also make sure that you do confirm your college of attendance on your Cal Grant account, which is California State Aid. So this is another resource to provide you with more financial aid if you are eligible. And I think that is all we have for today. So thank you for watching, and hopefully this was helpful to you and your college application submission journey. Thank you.